knocked away.
Bounce fast.
Oh, the base.
For the Black Bears are this guy, Mike McKinney and Kenny Mann.
Oh, Dylan Gump
Throws it out.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our final day of coverage of our day 7 competition here, 223 ABL Championships, leg 1. Second game, Louvre, Surabaya going against Hong Kong Eastern. Louvre, Surabaya with a record of 1-2. Hong Kong Eastern, well, they are undefeated, including a big win against Singapore Singers last night. So they sit at 3-0. Should they win this game, Hong Kong would go to 4-0 and join Saigon as the only two teams undefeated in this leg of the tournament. Chuck Schreiner along with Scott McKinnon, so happy you could join us, and we're going to go down to Scotty on the floor in just a second to see what his comments are with a couple of the players from either team. Scotty.
We're here with Dominique Gilbert, the versatile forward for the Hong Kong Eastern. Dominic, we saw you come off the bench the first couple of games. You did everything for Hong Kong. Without McLaughlin last night, an absolute massive offensive explosion to the tune of 20-something points, 18 rebounds. When you play for this team, is it just when you need to score, when your team needs to score, you do, and when they don't, you do everything else for them? Or what do you think about going forward in the games?
I mean, yeah, we have a really deep team. So honestly, like, if that game I need to play defense, rebound, whatever the coach needs from me, I'll do it. I mean, like I said, we have a lot of depth. So I mean, if anybody wants to, if whoever gets going, I think we have the privilege that we have a lot of talented guys on the team. So last night it was my night, but today it could be somebody else. So like I said, we're lucky we have a lot of depth, and I think that's going to be a huge benefit for us going forward.
Your team defense was spectacular last night, holding the Singapore Slingers to under 50 points for the majority of the game. You guarded two of the best imports that the ABL sees, Xavier Alexander and Kendrell Barkley. Speak to your team's defense and your individual defense and how you're able to keep them to such a low score last night.
Yeah, I mean, we held them to 51, 52 in the home gym, which is obviously it's a great team effort. We obviously work a lot on that. The coaching staff prepared us really well, and I think we executed and we're really focused and motivated last night, and I think it showed, like you said, on the defensive end.
Well, it's been a pleasure to watch you do all your skill set, Dominic, so thank you very much.
Okay, talking to Dominique Gilbert, who had such a great game last night. Keys to the game tonight, though, the Louvre Surabaya team suffered their biggest loss in ABL competition history, 61 points to Saigon Heat the other night. They allowed 53.9% field goals against the Heat and 24% field goal percentage. Obviously, they're going to have to do a lot better than that, but the problem is they are playing a great team who are undefeated. They held the Slingers to 27.1 field goal percentage. Incredible. 7 turnovers versus Singapore Slingers, so not only did they play great defense, but they don't turn the ball over either. Looking at some of the highlights. First of all, Surabaya. Check that. That is Hong Kong, and this was last night. And the guy we were just talking to, Dominique Gilbert, who had 28 points. And they've got other guys as well. Remember, Chris McLaughlin, their big center, is out or was out last night. I don't know if he's going to be playing tonight or not. But there is Hester rolling to the basket. Also, one of their scorers as well. They have just Dominique Gilbert was saying, they just got a plethora of players. They're probably the deepest team in this league at the moment. Another player lining it up and shooting it from outside. And this is Surabaya at the moment. Surabaya with 1 win and 2 losses. They did defeat the Bangkok Tigers. They have a couple losses. They lost to Saigon, and that was a huge loss for them, as they said, by over 61 points. So, players to watch: Dominique Gilbert. He has been Mr. Everything the last game or two. First start was against Singapore Singers. He usually comes off the bench, 29 points, 17 boards. 4 3-pointers made last night. That's Dominique Gilbert. And he will be going up against Jamar Johnson. He's had a great tournament, 12 points, 21 attempts versus Saigon Heat, averaging 15 points and 9.3 rebounds, 11 rebounds versus the Saigon Heat. So how do they match up together? 17 versus 29 points, and we're just talking about the last game. 17 big rebounds, as we said, for Gilbert, 11 for Johnson. 3 assists to 2, and Gilbert also had a couple of steals, by the way, last night. So did just about everything that Hong Kong Eastern could ask for. So our referees in the game, we'll get to them in just a moment, but first we'll have the player introductions as they will go over to the side. And you know, Scotty, you talked about the chances that Surabaya have. Well, they didn't look very good against, you know, Saigon, losing by 61 points, and now they come in and have to play another undefeated team, Hong Kong, who, if anything, probably are even deeper than Saigon and play even better defense.
Yeah, it's a really tough matchup for the Louvre Surabaya Indonesian, especially that Ali 2 is still not on the court. It looks like he's in street clothes over there. So when you've lost your big man, you can't bring anyone else in as an import, and now you have to play the top 2 teams, the potential to play the top 2 undefeated teams so far here in the ABL. It's a very tough matchup going back-to-back for the Louvre Indonesia Surabaya team.
Well, they've got a puncher's chance. Of course, they do have some players that can match up very well. Marcus Hammond has had a pretty good tournament so far. He's 35 years of age, 6'5", 200 pounds, out of Texas A&M. He's you know, he has international experience. He's played in the PBA. Tuasela, until last game, had a very good tournament. He was tough against the Bangkok team when they had the win. They've got other guys as well. Pratama can come off the bench and give you some decent minutes. Ujio, you know, you're looking for answers here. You know, Jamar Johnson, of course, they're going to depend on him a lot. 34 years of age. He's also played all around the world. But 2 is the guy that you know, you sort of need to be in there. Your enforcer, the guy that gets things going in transition, the guy that you can trust around the basket. And with him gone, you're just searching for how are we going to score and how's that going to affect us on defense.
Yeah, and when you're searching how to score against a team like Hong Kong Eastern, they only gave up 51 points last night against a very skillful and talented Singapore Slingers team. That's a search that might go on for a long time. It's going to be a very difficult matchup so far for Louvre, and their ability to score on the perimeter and shoot the 3-ball is going to be tremendously important for them today.
Hong Kong Eastern not only has the imports that we know about, and we can talk about them, you know, Tony Troca, for instance, O'Darian Bassett, who was such a joy to be around and such a marvelous player to watch, and what a game he had. McLaughlin, as we know, will probably be out, but Dominique Gilbert. But then you're talking about their heritage players. What about the Sue brothers? Oliver Sue, for instance, number 24, who did such a knockdown job last night on Xavier Alexander. You know, even his brother can come in, Adam Zhu. So he plays great defense. They're just guy after guy that they can count on to come off the bench and give them quality minutes.
Yeah, like you said earlier, it's in waves. Non-stop waves from Hong Kong Eastern. You had Adam Zhu come in off the bench last night, 12 points, 7 rebounds, and then guarding the Singapore Slinger imports for the majority of the game. And his physicality, the entire physicality from the Hong Kong Eastern team was very imposing last night. It's going to be interesting to see if they exert that kind of same tactic tonight against Louvre, Indonesia.
Coach Pavlicevic has them firing on all cylinders. We saw them looked almost human against Macau. They only walked away with a 6-point lead, so they do have some chinks in their armor, but we have yet to see the team that can really exploit them the way that Macau did. Macau was in the game and even had the lead momentarily during that 3rd quarter, but then Hong Kong, you know, just took it to another level. And when you've got the depth that they do, you can just search your bench and come up with the right guys till you find the matches that complement the players that you're playing against, and that's what Hong Kong can do with the depth that they have.
Yeah, and I thought Dominic Gilbert had a really good interview there when he said, if it's not my night, it's someone else's night. And to speak to that kind of unselfishness that they have in the Hong Kong Eastern is really special.
Looks like McLaughlin is suited up and ready to go, so that's more bad news for Surabaya. As he has been tremendous the games that he has been in there. I don't know why he was not in the game against Singapore last night, but he's back now.
Yeah, rumblings around the ABL circle that he had a kind of 24-hour, 36-hour flu kind of deal, and so wonder if how he's feeling today, and if they'll give him big minutes, or if they'll start him, or if they'll kind of bring him off the bench. So
and there's your answer. He is. Well, he is. He was just introduced. I don't know if he's going to be in the starting 5 or not, but we'll see how many minutes he gets. Certainly no urgency as long as Surabaya can get it, as long as Hong Kong Eastern can get it done against Surabaya with the guys that they have. Maybe discretion and make sure that he is 100% for the next leg that will be in Batam starting on the 12th. That's not very far away. Today's the 8th, and 4 more days. Just think of it. They're going to suit it up again and play 4 more games in 7 days. So it's not a league setup for the week. It's going to reward you if you're fit, and number 2, if you can stay away from injury. And that we don't know yet. It's just it's a very compressed schedule and a lot of games in a very short period of time.
And you spoke to the advantage of depth and how much it matters so far in this tournament. And you've seen it with the injuries to really important specific players to each one of the teams. And the teams that have had that depth to be able to fight through that and enable that and not get knocked down by it, have the ones who have been very successful so far here in this week.
Okay, so Surabaya again with the puncher's chance. I think one thing they're going to have to do, and it behooves them, is don't come out of the gate slow. Don't go into a big hole early against Hong Kong.
Yeah, and the key is don't let Hong Kong get out in transition. Those turnovers and those defensive stops that they get, it cannot be layups at the other end. Easy uncontested baskets for Hong Kong Eastern equals a very long night for the Louvre Indonesia Surabaya.
We saw Surabaya put up a game effort against Zimbabwe. They led for the first 3 quarters, and then that massive 4th quarter where Zimbabwe came out and put 43 points on them. Just seemed to destroy them mentally, and they came back the next game and really, again, unless you talk about the game against Bangkok, where they pretty much dominated, won by 30-something points against Saigon, that raised its ugly head again, and Saigon was able to put 30, 40 points together in quarters, and that's what Surabaya cannot afford against Hong Kong.
Yeah, and it all happened kind of in that second half. They were able to stay competitive for the first half and early into the 3rd quarter, and then when their legs gave out of them, when that depth mattered, all of a sudden it was a track meet, and things got out of hand quite early.
Chantapa, Chang, and Yante are your referees today. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for everything you do for the ABL. You said it, don't let it come into a track meet, because if it does, here's your starting lineup, and it is deep and it is talented. Chan Siu Wing, the veteran, at 1 guard. Tony Trocha at center. Plays a lot taller than his 6'8", 6'9", Adam Su. Defensive specialist, but also can fill it up. Kahin Luing gets a start today.
Yeah, I haven't seen him or heard of his name yet so far, so maybe there's a little bit more depth from Hong Kong that we didn't know.
Of course, Gilbert gets rewarded, and he will get the start for Hong Kong Eastern due to the effort that he gave against Singapore. So that's your starting 5. On the other side of the ball, it'll be Hammonds to Acela, and Gio Gunawan will get the start today at the center spot, and Lamar Johnson, the other forward for Surabaya. So that's the 5 that will be going for Surabaya. So it looks like they've got some deficits as well. Surabaya does, starting Gunawan at center.
Yeah, and he picked up 3 early fouls last game, so hopefully with the lack of size they have as well, they cannot have him picking up quick fouls for Indonesia Surabaya.
Well, 4 games in 7 days. This is the culmination of this tournament here, this leg here in Singapore. And after this, we've got 1 game on tap. That's the big one. Singapore Singers will play their 4th game against Zimbabwe.
It's going to be a fun basketball game. Again,
Yep.
Contrasting styles. You have the run and gun of the Zamboanga Valentes against the consistent and committed defense of the Singapore Slingers, the foundation of the ABL. And so it's going to be a fun game coming up here in our headliner tonight.
Yeah, even with that beatdown last night, it was 68-52, but Hong Kong only put 68 points on the board. So it shows Singapore, even in an off night for them, relatively speaking, they only gave up 68 points, but they only scored 52. So 2 very good defensive teams we saw last night. Some more of the Hong Kong Eastern bench. So they are sitting a couple guys, giving them a rest back-to-back nights. It's understandable, but they will be available to go in, including McLaughlin, who we did not see yesterday. If need be, I'm sure he will go in for a few minutes today.
And he was tremendously important for them in the first 2 games. That inside-outside threat, that new age big man who can put the ball on the floor and shoot it and get to the rim and post up and rim protect. It's just another massive addition for Hong Kong for him coming back today.
Yeah, so O'Darian Bassett gets a rest today as far as the starting. The 36-year-old will take a break. What a great week he's had here in Singapore in this first leg.
Yeah, and when you talk about a professional basketball player, you said professional before, Chuck, and I really like that word. There's nobody more a consummate professional than O'Darian Bassett. Really understands and implicates the game of basketball in his terms.
There's Chan Siu Wing, the veteran 30-year-old. Asian Championships, played the most minutes. Tocha will be jumping it up. There's Adam Su. Controlling the ball is Surabaya. Hong Kong, their familiar dark blue. Surabaya in the white. Oh, nice little move. Couldn't finish it off. That was Gunawan.
Oh, what a move to get Trocha up in the air with the pump fake, the step through, and just no finish. And the Surabaya bench was up, about to explode with that up and under.
Great move by Gunawan, but just did not finish. So out of bounds it goes, and Hong Kong quickly on the outlet pass all the way down the court. Trocha posted down, easy two.
I didn't realize they played American football in Croatia. Gilbert, the length of the floor, the touchdown pass there.
Off the dribble, rises and firing is number 8, that's Marcus Hammond for 2.
He's had a really nice tournament so far as well, consistently scoring 30 points a game.
Circling up on top, catch and shoot for 3.
Yeah, and the new starter for Hong Kong Eastern, Mr. Kahin, steps into that three-pointer.
So 5-2. Quickly, back it up, fire it again. Falls through the cylinder, 2 in a row.
Talking about depth, a name, a number we haven't even seen, not on the roster. Kahin steps in and hits 2 3-pointers to start this game. When you think the Hong Kong Eastern could not get any deeper.
Bumping and grinding there. Ball knocked out of his hand, picked up. Great interior defense by Hong Kong again. Outlet pass, downstairs, just like that. A couple passes, quick basket. Quickly a timeout being called by Surabaya. 10-2. Hong Kong leads Surabaya with only the 2 points from Hammonds. Well, Scotty, just as we sort of predicated before the show, there's just not much they can't do. A very confident-looking bunch, Hong Kong, I have to say, but why wouldn't they be? There's just a fundamental basketball. They do everything right. They pounce on every mistake that you make, and they turn that into gold at the other end.
Yeah,
they've done it twice already. 2
of their world imports sitting on the bench, and they're still that confident. They're still defend so well. Gilbert with the strip steal, and all of a sudden it's a layup at the other end. And if you're looking at this tournament right now, from what we've seen so far this week, I'd be hard-pressed not to call the Hong Kong Eastern the favorite moving into the Batam leg.
A lot of basketball to play. We don't know about injuries or other things that could come up, but Hong Kong certainly go 12 deep on their roster. And they've got a plethora of so-called heritage players that they can call on, as well as their foreigners, and extremely deep and strong and talented club.
Yeah, and they've showed that in the first 2 minutes here.
Coming out to meet the ball handlers, forcing Surabaya to set up very deep on their offensive set. Dribble penetration, turns and fires on the shot is off the mark. There's Gilbert again, goes to the corner, back outside, good rotation. Kahin calling it. Good ball movement, everybody moving. Long 3, not this time from Kahin. Off the mark. Pressing it, it's Hammonds getting through. Little hesitation there. Still drops it in, nice job.
Yeah, Negro with 2 nice pump fakes to get both guys up in the air and finish at the rim there. So a good little transition possession for Louvre.
Gio, his first basket. Gilbert. Looking downstairs is Sue, back up top. Taking the 3, and there's a foul, and that'll put him at the line for 3, fouling the jump shooter.
Chucky made a great comment there of just the movement, bodies and ball moving. It's constant motion for Hong Kong Eastern. It's so hard to defend when that's happening. And because it's so hard to defend, they consistently get these open shots and uncontested jump shots. And there's Cahan with his opportunity to get 9 points here. I hadn't even heard of him before this game.
Yeah, he didn't play at all. And I don't even know if he was in the building yesterday. So there you go.
Starts this game, he's got 7 points early on 2 of 2 from 3 and just fouled in that one.
Very quickly. Remember, he was fouled behind the 3-point line, so he gets 3 shots. Dumps them all 3. So 13-4 run so far for Hong Kong with barely 3 minutes in the books. To Acela, gives it up. Oh, nice move to the basket and the finish by Hammond.
Quality from Marcus Hammond, splits the ball screen, comes back to that right hand on the crow hop. Fantastic move from the Louvre import.
Up top to Gilbert. Gilbert looking for the screen. Nice job on the help. Gilbert gets through, counted in 1.
He's a wrecking ball, Chuck.
Yeah. Rotating, getting through the, off the screen, splitting 2 defenders, catching the contact on the way in.
It's been very interesting to see him as kind of the primary offensive focus these last couple of games. And not only can he defend and do every little thing your team, all the intangibles, but he can really score the basketball.
Yeah. Like a 2-3 zone Hong Kong is in at the moment. Hammonds, he's been the danger man for Surabaya to start off with. Can't hit that one. Back comes Chan Su Wing. Cahen. Gilbert beats his man to the spot. Gives it back. Long jumper is off the mark by Luing Cahen, number 10. We'll check that. That is Chan Su Wing, number 8. Tony Trocha, number 10.
Again, that motion offense gets a wide open look for Adam Shu in the key there, and he just missed a jump shot. He sees great kick there to Chu. Wide open jump shot from the foul line, just missed it. Trocha with the offensive, or with the foul, pursuing the basketball.
Reaching in. Good look at the basket, and they should have taken the shot a little bit before that. Trocha to intercept it. Little bounce pass to the left side. Trocha will line it up from Threesville. Off the mark. Outlet pass. Down the court. Oh, a little bit too far. Good idea. Had the player behind the defense. Foul before the shot. So timeout going to be called by Hong Kong, and they lead 16-6. But frowns on the face of Pavlikovic. He doesn't like something that he's seen. I can't imagine what it is.
Yeah, and he's quite an intense individual, and you can see he's very detail oriented. He only wants perfection over there, and you can see he's laying into the Hong Kong Eastern right now, mimicking and pointing to the scoreboard. You can see he's not happy with their efforts so far. And
if he gets ever tired of his coaching career, he can go in the movies and play the stunt double for Bill Murray. Bet you guys are getting tired of hearing that.
I like it. Keep it going.
Okay, there's your score, 16-6. Great time with 5:22 to go here in the first quarter. Undefeated Hong Kong Eastern going against Louvre and Surabaya. has a record of 1 win and 2 losses. 2-2 would suit Surabaya very well. They would send them into the next leg with good momentum going. Hong Kong Eastern, should they come out here with a win, they would be 4-0 and share first place honors with Saigon Heat going into the second leg. As we look at some of the highlights, there's Gilbert being able to take the contact and finish, go the line. Tuasela working on Chan Su Wing. There's Hammonds again, traversing over to the other side. A lot of dribbling, but not much else happening. The long 3 is off the mark. Hammonds will fire up another 3. That'll be short. Stepping into the lane is Gilbert to rein it in. Gilbert again as Troch just steps up. Rotated to the right, rises and firing is Gilbert. He's off the mark that time. Gio with the rebound. Gives it off to Hammonds. Check that Hammonds is down low. That was Johnson on the shot. Boy, Surabaya having to chase and chase inside, trying to work themselves off the screens that Hong Kong's throwing.
And for a team that doesn't have a ton of depth, that's so fatiguing and so tiring over the longevity of the game.
Walking on Gilbert. That basket will not count.
Yeah, that's his second travel in the last few possessions there. So Dominic Gilbert getting a little bit frustrated with himself and the officials.
Remember, Hong Kong played a game last night, the closing game, and they had to work very, very hard on defense, so there might be some heavy legs out there.
I see Chris McLaughlin, the All-Canadian, subbing in for Hong Kong Eastern.
What defense, just locking it down, and there's a steal by Gilbert inevitably on the trap. And that all worked off the trap, so
beautiful fast break there.
Kahines
got down the floor in less than 3 seconds, only 2 dribbles, and Kahim with his 11th point of the game. The guy we hadn't heard of.
Yeah, came out of nowhere. Chris Tuasela on the turnover. So Hong Kong ball again. Crowd watching in awe of this Hong Kong team.
And if you look at their bench, it looks like O'Darian Bassett might have the night off. He's in his shooting shirt at the end of the bench there, so might be playing with only 2 world imports today.
They're such a deep team, it'll scarcely matter. Johnston with the turnover, dribbles it off his shoes. Checking in now for Surabaya. Good idea to keep fresh legs in there. That would be De Silva, number 17.
He had a nice little game for Surabaya last game. Got up and down the court, played some good defense, hustled at both ends.
Reach in foul by Tuasela. Or is that going to be an offensive foul?
I don't know about that. Let's see this. They called him for hooking. So Chan Su Wing reverses here, and oh yeah, maybe.
Yeah, got his hand mixed up with Tuasela's. Tuasela initially made the contact, and but Chan Su Wing with the retaliation.
Yeah, reached across around the outside of his body to create the advantage, and that's where the foul happened.
Johnson off the dribble. Beat Gilbert to the spot, but couldn't finish. Chan Su Wing downstairs. McLaughlin in the game now, by the way, number 19. I think McLaughlin with a push there. Push Tuasela. No, they're going to give it to Tuasela.
So Tuasela returns the favor with a foul and wing.
It's 2 on Tuasela now.
Yeah, that's not a good thing for the Louvre Indonesia. Their starting point guard, great ball handler, little spark plug, Mr. Tuasela.
Gilbert having some words with the referee almost every time down the court. Seems a little bit frustrated. There's McLaughlin. First time we've seen him work tonight. Turns, fires with that left hand off the mark. Hammonds with the rebound. fires the ball over to number 29. That's Pratama on the miss. Another foul, holding on.
And interesting enough, you do not see the intensity and physicality that Hong Kong had last night against the Singapore Slingers. So do you wonder, do they play up to their opponents? Do they play down to their opponents? I haven't seen the same level of intensity that they had last night, which was truly amazing.
I agree, and I think a lot of it had to do with the crowd last night and the fact that Singapore is at home. Singapore traditionally has been one of the major players in the ABL, so all those factors together, Scotty, they really wanted the game bad. And the reverse there by Dominique Gilbert.
Yeah, nice high-low action there. They threw it to McLaughlin, and McLaughlin throws as a footer. He can throw it over top of the defense there to Gilbert for the reverse layup.
Loose ball inside to Acela, picked it up off the floor. Well, Hong Kong Eastern has been the talk. You talk to the players, almost every player to a T says, Hong Kong's depth, Hong Kong's depth. They've got this guy, I played against this guy. I can't believe they got all 4 of these guys on the same team, or 5 or 6. So they have been the talk of the town as far as the ABL this year, and so far they've been able to back it up. It's a long season though, as Hamilton, check that, Hammonds splashes that 3.
Hammonds with a nice little start to the game. He's got 7 points, 3 of 5 from the field, 3 rebounds, and he's really proven himself to be an elite scorer here this week in Singapore.
Another long 3.
Get out of here.
Again. Kahins.
14 points now, Chuck. 4 of 5 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3 for Kahin. I don't even know how to pronounce his name.
We'll have to go over it at halftime and make sure that we are pronouncing it right. But as we reiterate, he wasn't even on the roster until the game started. So we'll do some more research and make sure that we're not butchering his name. And it's entirely possible we are. Inside. Nice job by McLaughlin to clean that up.
Adam Sue with great curl, tight curl around the pick, drop down pass, and McLaughlin again with that great touch for a big man.
See if they get McLaughlin on the reach in. No, it's away from the ball. So under a minute to go here in the first quarter. It's been all Hong Kong. 16-point bulge. Only 9 points on the board, and again downstairs. Just like Surabaya getting mesmerized by the ball movement of Hong Kong, and then McLaughlin just slips behind the zone and boom.
Yeah, and a great screen by Adam Sue. He's just sets real good disciplined screens, and that gets McLaughlin wide open again, like you said there on the post.
Nice movement by Gio, but no bucket in the end. The cutter's just flooding through there. Adam Sue, spoiled for choice on who he would distribute it to.
Spoiled for choice in 2 aspects, I think. Not only on the court, but what's the choice of who's coming in next on that Hong Kong Eastern bench.
And that will do it. That basket will not count. So 29-9 bulge for Hong Kong Eastern. They hold Surabaya to single digits at the end of 1 quarter. You can see why Hong Kong has been hyped the way they have since before the tournament. We'll check out the highlights. Here they are.
do know this is my house, right?
Yeah, it's my house too.
No one can compete. I just do what comes natural. This is what they came for.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 29-9 is your score. Hong Kong Eastern over Louvre Surabaya. After one stanza in the books, they come as advertised to Hong Kong. Doing it all around the court. Playing without some of their big draws or big imports. Ooh, walking on the line that time, just evading it. Some more changes for Hong Kong. We'll get those to you in just a second. Number 35 checking in, Mohammed Suleiman Sheikh. The Pakistani is in now, number 35, running on the floor on that right-hand side for Hong Kong Eastern.
He also got Joshua De Villa, the 6'5" Filipino Hong Kongese who came in and is now playing the post position for them.
They'll give you more guys rest. Number 29 hits it, Jolly Pratama.
Good shot by Pratama there to step out and nail a three-pointer for the Louvre Indonesia Surabaya team.
So Coach Pavlikovic can rest some of his players. Remember, in 4 more days, they're going to ratchet it up again and play in Batam 4 more games in 7 days. McLaughlin can't finish that shot. Off the dribble, McLaughlin contest and change the shot. Late whistle. What happened here?
Yeah, they're going to give that a goaltending. McLaughlin slapped the backboard. You can take stuff off the rim, but if you hit the backboard and affect the shot, they're going to call that goaltending. So a really nice take there by Jamar Johnson to get it up over top of the footer. McLaughlin, if you look here, see him smack the backboard, shakes it a little bit, and the official's calling off our goaltending.
Did make contact. If it wasn't for that, it wouldn't have gone in, but McLaughlin making contact. Good catch there, Scotty. Foul on Pratama.
Yeah, so Hong Kong Eastern going deep into their bench. All 10 players have played already. Their post, Puck hasn't come in yet, and he's a pretty talented basketball player, and I don't think we're going to see O'Darian Bassett tonight.
No, they'll try and avoid him. Like we said, 4 more days till the next leg starts in Batam, Indonesia.
And imagine having that kind of depth where you have the confidence that you can rest a world import of the quality of O'Darian Bassett,
Yeah.
who is one of the top imports, I believe, here in the ABL this year. And just to sit him for the 4th game, just to provide that rest before the next leg in Batam, is a luxury that not many other teams in Singapore have right now.
Foul on the hesitation dribble, going to the basket. Oliver Sue catches his hand, so send him to the line for 2. That's Jamar Johnson, by the way, 34-year-old, U.S. Indonesian, Widener College, played in the APBL, played for the CLS Knights. If you people that remember your ABL history from 2014 to 2017.
He plays for Dewa United in the IBL, and he had a big 3-on-3 during the pandemic. He played a ton during the 3x3 and in FIBA and was very successful in the region playing 3x3 as well. So a very decorated import there for Louvre.
Oh, great move. Secondary move, tertiary move. McLaughlin will go to the line for 2. Count those. Check that. 1. Count those. So it's an N1.
And look at this here, Chuck. It's if you want a post clinic, Chris McLaughlin's giving it there. Kevin McHale-esque, stepping through and finishing with his left hand, and everything was under control. Fantastic footwork to create a space. And yeah, if you're a young post player and you want to see the new age big, Chris McLaughlin's that guy to watch.
Yeah. Multitude of moves on that low post.
the one thing I like about him is he's not just a stretch 5. He gets inside first. He starts inside, and then he moves his way outside to shoot the 3. And
Yeah.
it's a complementary piece, not the primary focus for him.
That's right. He's very eclectic, big man. We saw him in the first game or two step away from the basket and hit some threes. Very soft touch as well. Good free throw shooter.
Yeah, he's got 8 points now. Does it all.
Miss there.
And that's coming off a stomach bug or the 36-hour flu, which made him unavailable last night against the Singapore Slingers.
Off the dribble, rising, firing his Hammonds off the mark. Waiting downstairs for the ball with Zhu. And that's Oliver Sue. Over the top again to McLaughlin. Back toss. Somehow they keep possession of it off the backboard and in an offensive board by McLaughlin. They keep it alive. 14 extra seconds now. Looking for McLaughlin on the cut. Zhu will rumble to the basket. Yes, left hand for 2.
Oh, and great step through by Shu there. The athleticism and that long finishing step there to the rim. He went from about 3/4 of the distance from the foul line to the rim in 0 dribbles.
Off the dribble, stop and pop, no good. McLaughlin with another board. It's Oliver Shu. Back outside, shake. Oh, beautiful move by McLaughlin. Can't get it to fall. Beautiful spin.
Yeah, fun to watch him play in the post.
Hammonds with the dribble. Nice save. 4-on-1. The finish. And 1. Well, everybody getting into the action here. That's number 8, Josh Davila. The Philippine Hong Kong we were talking about. He'll go the line now to complete the 3-point play.
And he was a quality basketball player in the Philippines collegiately. So this is your 10th guy coming into the basketball game. That's a nice finish. 6'6", going back to that right hand. And fast break points are starting to come for Hong Kong Eastern. They now have 10 in the game. And
so timeout being called by Surabaya. 20 points down already at the 5:31 mark here in the second quarter. Scotty, just, the opposite thing happened. And I know Louvre, Surabaya didn't mean to fall in this kind of a hole, but you say right before the game, they cannot fall behind big early. It just destroys your morale. It sets you up for making careless mistakes, and the image of being desperate and all those things has happened to Surabaya. So Hong Kong on its way already to a convincing win, unless Surabaya can do something to turn it around. They certainly seem short-handed, Surabaya.
Yeah, and if you look right now on the Hong Kong Eastern side, no one has played more than 10 minutes except for Kylan Leung, who we didn't know existed before this game. I don't believe he'd played a minute yet. So when it comes at you like this and you have fresh legs consistently coming, and you look over the Louvre Indonesian side and you have Ali Tu there, the 6'11", the Parisian who played in the Spanish LEV Gold League, sitting on the bench. And
well, that is a shame for them, because I would have loved to see the matchup between him and McLaughlin.
Yeah, and then you see Hammonds and Johnson and Tusalella, who've played big minutes. It's tough to keep up with this running pace and just the defensive pressure and intensity that Hong Kong's upped in the last few minutes.
Again, Surabaya doing all the dribbling. Another turnover.
Yeah, and he's got him locked down there, and he's going nowhere. And you see how many dribbles it takes him to get going anywhere, and when he does, it's going to the sideline. So just tough defensive ball pressure from the Hong Kong Eastern side.
Back outside again. There's the cut. Oh, beautiful pass by Kahines inside. Hit
Again,
Shake.
ball screen, down screen, ball screen, down screen. It's just so hard to communicate and to fight through all of those different screens. Eventually, someone's going to get an open shot.
Other side of the ball, Surabaya, head down and dribbling. Just not getting any traction so far in the game. Saputra checking out now for Indonesia. Show and go. Nice move that time. Beating his man to the spot.
Nigo with a nice finish there for 4 points. He got to the backboard before he could get a shot block, and real nice touch.
Underneath, some holding on.
Silva called with the offensive foul there on the screen. He's moving his feet when he sets it, and Nigo did a really good job of selling it there to the officials.
Ugio to his right. Nice little finger roll. Can't get it to fall though. Long lead pass. Nice show and go move by Shake.
And
That's
Davila.
Davila, yes.
Now 7 points, 2 of 3 from the floor, and so everyone's getting a chance to get a shot and get a run here for Hong Kong Eastern right now.
Battle going on downstairs between number 35, that's Shake.
And Shake took a shot to the chin there from Marcus Hammonds. Unintentional. Hammonds was trying to post him up, and Shake, being the smaller player, perfect level for shoulder height, and took a forearm to the face from Hammonds there. An accidental forearm to the face.
Good movement again, getting behind the defense. It's Kahines.
Chuck, he's having a game. He's got 16 now. 4 of 5 from the floor.
Nice little jump shot there for the finish. Dirk Nowitzki style, Gio.
Yeah, and Gio with a good bounce back game. 6 now for him.
Again, getting behind the defense momentarily. The kick back outside, hitting the open man. That time it is Shake. His
Everyone
first
getting
bucket of
back.
the game. Yeah, nice three there. Gio again getting hot.
7 now for him, and he's shooting the ball really well here in this first half. Bassett on the sideline calling for motion. He's still communicating and calling the plays from the end of the bench.
Another long three. Shake again. A couple of baskets by him. Everybody contributing, Scotty.
Oh, it's unbelievable. You got a little bit of an individual battle here between Shake and Ugio right now. Bucket for bucket.
Ugio, the backup jumper, is going to be short. Shake hustling over and running it down. Back come Hong Kong. Left hand dribble down that left lane. Kahine eschews that shot. They'll reset. 12 on the shot clock. 2:26 to go here in the first half. Whip pass down to the corner. Shake again.
Wow. So you got Shake, who's played very limited minutes so far. He's got 8 points right now on 3 of 3. And then you have Kahine, who we haven't seen all tournament long, 16 of 5 of 6 from the floor. And the depth that this team has is truly unspeakable.
I think I saw Shake play maybe 2 minutes in one game.
Yeah, he didn't play last night against Singapore.
Here he comes down at the other end. A little bit lackadaisical on that particular instance.
Yeah, Jamar Johnson says, not in my house.
Yeah. Spin move, swirls it in, and a foul. He'll go the line.
Nice sequence from Jamar Johnson. The massive block on Trocha, who's got about 5 inches on him on one end, and he comes down and finishes the other. Look at that timing.
Yeah. Trocha, a little bit informal, let's say, with that attempt, and made to pay the price.
Yeah, Jamar Johnson with a really nice sequence there.
So the lead trimmed to 25.
Johnson's now got 7 points, 5 rebounds.
Away from the ball, some holding on downstairs. They have these small guys posting down.
Yeah, and it's the positionless continuity offense. The ball just gets passed from side to side, screening action after screening action. It's just so hard and fatiguing to defend that consistently throughout a game.
So in the penalty, that will put Hong Kong at the line. Kenneth hits the first. What a revelation he's been.
Yeah, Chuck. He's got 17 here in the first half. When I saw him in the starting lineup, I honestly had never seen him before.
Off the dribble. Can't get the roll. Hustling for it, though, is Trocha. Trocha again. No look pass. Back out front again. A little bit sloppy that time. Lead pass. Taking it to the hole. Oh, that should be goaltending right there. My goodness.
So I think that one was because it was inside the cylinder when he took it up. It was going down and in. It wasn't on top where you're allowed to swipe it off. It was actually inside the hoop when he stole it. So
off the mark. Don't know if the fans here like the idea of Hong Kong. Of course, they know what they did to the Slingers last night. So bitter taste in their mouth. They're pretty much replicating the same thing on Surabaya right now.
yeah, clinical exhibition from Hong Kong here so far.
Oh, the follow. Wow. Trocha.
Trocha straight out of Texas A&M, the Aggie with the massive putback dunk. Plays for the Colombian national team as well, which is a good international squad there.
Off balance, way off the mark by Marcus Hammonds. And oh, at the buzzer! What can't they do? Number 24, Oliver Zhu. Exclamation point, Hong Kong. They hang 60 on the board.
What can they not do, Chuck? You said it perfectly. Ends the half with Oliver Zhu shooting it from Hong Kong International School.
Wow. Well, Havlikovic not too plussed by that, but what a demolition job in the first half, 60 to 26. Surabaya held to 26 points, and the Hong Kong Eastern Express keeps moving along. Some of the highlights of the first half. Okay, the stats of the first half: rebounds 23 to 14, big edge for Hong Kong. Assists 18 to 5, ditto 10 to 23, not even 30%, or around 30% for Surabaya. 22 of 36, 56, 57%. Look at the bench points: 31 to 3. Second chance points 4 to nothing. Turnovers 10 by Surabaya, 6 for Hong Kong. So as you would expect, scoreline sort of reflecting what the stats show you. 60 to 26. We'll break for the half. We'll be back for third quarter action here at the OCBC Arena soon.
Oh, so close. Everybody could have helped my name. You still welcome to consolation prizes. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for you.
So what you waiting for? What you waiting for? Give them what they came for. preach.
One-on-one. Check ball. You do know this is my house, right? Yeah, it's my house too.
Take charge, no one can compete. I just do what comes natural. This is what they came for. So what you waiting for? What you waiting for? Give them what they came for. This is what they came for. Long shot, but I got the reach. Pop, lock, now I'm off the leash. Mic drop, I ain't gotta preach.
One-on-one. Check ball. You do know this is my house, right? Yeah, it's my house too.
Take charge, no one can compete. I just do what comes natural. This is what they came for.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 60-26 is your score. At the end of the first half, Hong Kong Eastern, as expected, have dominated the proceedings both on the offensive and defensive end, and coming up with players that we haven't seen in the tournament thus far, but that's how deep their roster goes. Mr. Kahines with 17 points for Hong Kong Eastern. On the other side of the ball, Marcus Hammonds making some inroads at first, but just too much, Scotty, just too much talent and depth on the other side. I mean, I don't know, you don't want to use that word overmatched. That's a word that you try to avoid, but I don't see any other word that describes it right now better than that. It just seems like Hong Kong Eastern at every single position overmatches Louvre Surabaya.
Yeah, I think that's a fitting description right now. And if you look at the stats, 62% from 2, 75% from the 3. They're winning every aspect of the game. And when you talked about the beginning, the bench points 30-3 right now for Hong Kong Eastern. That's a 27-point gap between the benches, and that's a massive part of the difference in this game right now is just the depth and the size and the length and the players that just keep coming in for Hong Kong Eastern. It's a very imposing and striking team over there in blue.
Shooting over 60% from the floor also. Rebounding, not really a factor in this game. And a lot of these shots that Hong Kong are, the reason why they're shooting 60% because some of them are right underneath the basket. So they're getting great looks. They're hitting the open men. They're getting their turnovers. They've only turned over the ball 6 times themselves. They forced 11 turnovers from Surabaya.
Yeah, you made a really good point there, Chuck, in the paint. 32 points in the paint now for Hong Kong Eastern to only 12 for the Louvre Surabaya, Indonesia.
So you look for, you're tempted to ask the question, well, what do they need to do to get back in the game? And I honestly, I don't think they've got the personnel to do it. I hate to say that.
Yeah, and there's 3 or 4 guys that could and can compete, but it's just the depth and the quality of the bench. And
Tuvasella rolls to the basket, and there's a foul.
It's just not there right now. And then when you add injuries, like Ali 2 sitting on the bench, he was a 25 points, 22 rebounds a game kind of guy. It's just been a tough last few games here for Louvre Surabaya after that injury.
Yeah, now, when 2 gets back in the game and then we rotate to another location and, we start all over again at 0-0 again. But right now for this particular leg, it's just Hong Kong is, and Saigon, you don't want to leave them off the conversation, but both these teams have done such a good job. Of course, Saigon had some tough games where they had to come from behind on several different occasions to win, and Hong Kong really has been pressured. That game against Macau, I guess, would qualify. Nice shot off the glass.
Yeah, and Marcus Hammonds' post game's really nice. 2 dribbles to the left, comes back to the right. Pretty bank shot.
Good ball rotation by Hong Kong. And did he travel? No, there's a breach-in foul. That'll go against number 71, Jamar Johnson.
Yeah, and the head fling back has really been taught recently in the international games. He's when he gets touched or throws his head back like that, and a lot of guys are using this move to try and draw fouls, and it's an interesting technique.
Shake stays in the game after the strong first half, and he continues. It's another 3.
Wow, and Shake's now 4 of 5 from the field, 3 of 3 from 3 for 11 points. And again, this is maybe your 11th, 12th guy.
Yeah. Nice shot. Finding some space in the zone was Tuvasella for a 2.
Yeah, and he hasn't had a great game today, but he's had a really good week so far here in Singapore, doing a lot of the facilitating and primary ball handling for Louvre.
Very smooth move there by number 10, Tony Trocha.
Yeah, and only his 6th shot attempt for the game, but he has 8 points.
Hammonds behind the screen, the long 3, well short. Oliver Sue flashes through. McCullum McLaughlin on the bench. There's another shot inside. It's good. Wow. All for Sioux.
That was about 30 feet shorter than the one he hit at the end of the half there. Yeah. So should move it in towards the line rather than farther away.
A piece of cake for him. Do that with his eyes shut. 68-31. Hong Kong will be in no hurry. Look for them to start rotating more people into the game. Trocha throws it away. Save there. Outlet pass. Let's see what can happen here. Nice job. Rolling to the basket. Can't get it to fall, though. Angle was cut off.
And if you're Kahin, you got to be happy. He didn't play a single minute in the first 3 games. He's played all 22 of them so far today.
Loads it up again. Can't get that to fall. Race to the ball. Nice job.
Gotta love that hustle from Marcus Hammonds.
Oh, on the reverse. Wow.
Sheck 6 of 7, now 15 points. And he's been a revelation.
Yeah. Backup jumper off the mark. Swarm of blue underneath it. The outlet pass. Kahin will wait for numbers as they swarm through the foul.
Really good rim run there by Josh Davila. So he runs through the key first. He takes the primary defender with him. And all of a sudden, there's Trocha as the trailing big.
Ooh, previous play.
Sheck, nice English on with the left hand there.
Yeah.
Very soft finish.
Donovan checking back in. Haven't seen him. He started the game, but left very shortly afterwards. .40 bulge now for Hong Kong Eastern.
Yeah, so moving that leg in Batam, you have to be excited for the Hong Kong Eastern Saigon Heat matchup. I think that's going to be a really competitive and fun basketball game.
Checking into the game finally. We were wondering when we would see him. Pokiet Yong, he got some action last night against Singapore.
Played quite well for them as well. The 6'9", lengthy Hong Kong Eastern player.
Only 22 years of age, plays for the Hong Kong national team. Off the dribble, blocked away. 3-on-3. Thought about taking the 3. Instead gets it inside. Poke gets a touch finally. He's fouled. He'll go to the line for a pair.
Steps into the game, gets a block on one end and draws a foul on the other. And this is the 11th player coming into the game for Hong Kong tonight. And that's the 6'9", strong and lengthy Hong Kong national team player.
Yeah. Not afraid of the contact, going straight up, knowing he's going to get hit. Back rim's the first one.
It's pretty good engagement as well from the Hong Kong Eastern bench. A lot of enthusiasm on that end of the court. You can imagine going 4-0 this weekend and really kind of consummating and making yourself the favorite, I would say, with Saigon Heat moving forward here and the Singapore Slingers moving forward here into that next leg of the tournament.
Yeah, depending on what happens in this last game, Singapore.
Chuck. Very good point.
Touch foul by Sheikh. But yeah, the way that things stand right now, I mean, Saigon, you know, not a dominant type team like Hong Kong, but the very competitive and never say die sort of attitude, and good complement of players that can do a lot of different things. Now, do they run as deep as Hong Kong? Hardly, but they defeated everybody that was put in front of them, and that's what you're supposed to do. They did not play Hong Kong. They did not play Singapore.
That's a very good point.
But they will next leg. Sheikh with another shot and splashes it again. Wow.
He's got a nice rhythm going. Wow. Bottom of the stat sheet, 6 of 7, now 15 points for Sheikh.
Yeah.
And again, it's that ball movement. Ball gets swung side to side. And eventually they get an open jump shot for Sheikh. He's just drilling them tonight.
Off the mark. Rebound, Hong Kong. Back they come. Players flooding through. There's the screen. Hesitation dribble. Takes it straight to the basket. Nice job.
Oliver Shue called his own number there. He came down, believe it was fence or something like that, but he was looking to get his own shot there. I like it from the heady point guard for Hong Kong Eastern.
Johnson turns and fires. Can't get it to go. Shue up ahead. Poke, shake. Look at the movement off the ball by Hong Kong. Wide open look again, that time off the mark by Shake.
They're shooting 75% from the three right now, and it's because those looks are wide open. 9 of 12 from the three for Hong Kong.
Off the dribble, fading away. Whistle, that will send Hammonds to the line.
Yeah, good little job by Marcus Hammonds. He had to evade 2 defenders again. They're sending multiple bodies at him. Steps in, fades away, draws the foul here on Davila.
Hammonds with 9 points. Gio with 9 points. Johnson with 7. Tuasella with 3, and that's it. Total of 31. So that's the level of domination it's been on the other side of the board. I mean, they've just been filling it in. Shake now with 18. Can you believe it? Gilbert, the star of last night's game against Singapore, only with 5, but he wasn't in the game that long. Davila with 7. Oliver Zhu with 10. Leong with 18. McLaughlin, who was in for a cup of coffee, 7. Adam Zhu with a pair. Trocha with 10. Chan hasn't scored yet. So there you go, right there.
Yeah, and if you look at the 2 leading scorers right now for Hong Kong Eastern, Shek has 18 and Kahin Leong has 18. Neither of them played a single minute last night against the Singapore Slingers. So again, that just speaks to the depth and the personnel that Coach Pavlicevic has over there and is able to disperse at his will.
Yeah. Again, you don't want to go anywhere because after this game, we have the Singapore Slingers on the revenge path.
Super excited for that game. I think it's going to be really fun. I think Zamboanga's got a really tough and good and entertaining team, and I think the Singapore Slingers are going to have a nice bounce-back game after a struggle last night against this Hong Kong Eastern.
I think so, too. I think there'll be more spaces for them to begin with, and it's going to be a more wide-open game. Hong Kong Eastern, if you missed it, decided to pack it downstairs against the Singapore Slingers to deny Alexander and Barkley chance to go to their strengths. The ball almost got away from him. Knocked away that time. Surabaya picks it back up. Sort of feel a different pace going on with the game now. Both teams wanting to get out and run. 3:16 to go. Shake back out to Sue. Switches it around. Shake again. Sue. Hammonds switches hands. Could not get the roll. Nice little dribble penetration though, just couldn't finish it.
Yeah, unlucky there. He did a really good job of getting off his right foot to float it over top of the big De Silva and just rolled out.
There's Leong lurking on that right side. Shake looking for a crevice. Leong rises. It's going to be short. 24-second violation. Whip pass outside. Johnson rolling to the hoop. He's fouled. He'll go to the line for a pair.
Yeah, great job by Jamar Johnson there to release, get the basketball, put his head down, split two defenders, and get to the right side, drawing that foul. Veteran and a very savvy move from the Indonesian import.
Another look at it. There's Leon's shot, woefully short, and at the other end. But look how quick Hong Kong gets back on
All
defense.
5 guys.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, one trailer. 4 guys and a trailer coming.
Yeah, and that was very impressive of what they did the last couple games as well as their transition defense has been fantastic. Everyone sprints back. They have a safety, so you can't push it early and often. And even on that transition bucket, which is Louvre's got 8 fast break points today, Jamar Johnson had to go through 2 bodies.
Well, that's every Hong Kong player we talked to before the tournament or during the tournament has said that even before we saw this is, yeah, we're all about defense. That's what we do. That's what we value. It sounded like a mirror image of Singapore, actually. Singapore has been stressing defense for all the years that we've seen them and done a terrific job of that.
Yeah,
currently leading the ABL in defense. Foul called by the referee that's far away from the action, but we're going to give that a goaltending, I think. Let's see.
Yeah, and again, Shake slaps the backboard there.
Can't do that.
Shake getting a little excited, looking for his highlight moment. Fair enough.
We're just pushing Poke away from, you see that. 22-year-old just getting bullied out of the way. He'll learn. Hard push by number 71 Johnson, but no foul called. Leon gets it in. Shake. Oh, beautiful. Can't finish it. Tried for the highlight.
Yeah, and a great roll to the rim there. He was wide open, and a good challenge by Johnson at the end to not give up the dunk.
Short there, and a foul is going to be called underneath. Be on Adam Su.
Yeah, and Johnson with his 7th rebound of the game. Second offensive, gets himself back to the line. Good effort from Jamar Johnson. They're not giving up on the basketball play and getting the rebound there. The air ball, he catches it right back into Shake's body, draws the foul. Look how he wins this position. Great hands. Get it over the top and draw the foul and Shake.
Dominique Gilbert checking back in for Hong Kong Eastern.
Haven't seen him for a while, eh?
Yeah. Five points so far. He had 28 last night and 17 boards against Singapore. Filling in for Chris McLaughlin, who was unavailable. Has the ball now. Bounce pass to Pope. Over to Leon. Back out on top to Su. Pushing and shoving inside. I think that might go against number 12 for Indonesia. Check that number 17, Francisco da Silva.
Chuck, you made a really good point the other day about Pavlicevic. You rarely see, his demeanor is really good, tremendously calm. He generally doesn't scream and yell, and he's not jumping up and down on the sidelines. And I guess that speaks to his wealth of experience of over 40 years of coaching basketball all over the world. And you just see that he's not too excitable.
Yeah. Last night, I think I saw him off the bench just once or twice. And
saw him get a little animated today when they were only up 16-6 to start the game, and that's the most I've seen from him all week long.
Yeah, when he called the timeout, he didn't like what he was seeing out on the court, and they responded very quickly. So the players listened to him.
Yeah, and with his calm demeanor, it's amazing to see the intensity that Hong Kong participates with on a consistent basis.
Well, he's a world-renowned coach. I mean, he's very successful in Europe. 71 years of age.
You can see they've been drilled over and over on their movement patterns. Everyone knows exactly where to go, makes the right read, the right spacings offensively. It's a well-oiled machine here, the Hong Kong Eastern.
Pope making the mistake on the offensive end. You could see letting the ball get down too low and put it on the floor and was immediately pocket picked. Oh, beautiful job, but they can't finish it off, and don't think that will count.
Oh, and a fantastic pass by Oliver Shue, and De Silva's didn't finish on the Sioux setup there.
78-36 at the end of 3 quarters. It's been all Hong Kong all the time. So we'll check out some highlights and we'll come back for the final 10 minutes. Don't go away. We got a big one, including the Singapore Slingers against Zimbabwe after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 78-36 your score. 4th quarter coming up here at the OCBC Arena. Last day of this first leg of the 2023 season for the ABL. Welcome back, ABL, after a 3-year hiatus. Polk staying with it, finishes it off.
Yeah, and he is coming to the game and made his presence felt, just his length and height. Nice offensive rebound and put back there for Polk.
To Acela. Trying to get away from Adam Sioux. Good ball rotation, show and go. Inside, one-hand runner is off the mark, but a foul.
And Nico's got 9 points now and 4-12 from the field, and he's been more aggressive today, and it's been nice to see him get back to his spots and hit a couple threes as well as get to the rim and draw some fouls like that.
Had a pretty good tournament for himself. A pretty good start to the season.
Just saw Pavlicevic stand up, walk over and say something. He didn't like the rotation or the defensive movement patterns there, so.
Well, apparently he's a pretty stern taskmaster. You know, they don't have a, you know, they're not all out around Singapore at night. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, very detailed oriented schedule as well.
He likes team lunches and stuff like that, and likes to do group things together. Feels it builds camaraderie.
Yeah, and it definitely does.
Absolutely.
It's a great way especially if you're just coming together. And I know the Hong Kong Eastern have it, but that's a great way to build that chemistry within teammates. And
Gilbert, second attempt, out of bounds.
Gilbert with a good offensive rebound, but he came back to his right hand there. If he finishes with his left on the outside, he's got a bucket.
Sioux. Oh, got it over to Gilbert, but didn't see it coming. Back the other way. Gio drawing Adam Sioux, who's a relentless defender. Screen coming up a tad too late. The shot over the top is no good. Nice little give and go.
What a pass from Gilbert there to Davila, running the lane and filling and finishing at the basket.
Little two-man game. Off the dribble. Again, Surabaya having to set up so far away. Long three is going to be off the mark.
Like you said, everything is challenging and tough for them, Chuck. Every single shot.
Pope with the finish. Making sure the youngster gets his touches, building that confidence up. Gilbert, the feeder.
Yeah, 4.6 rebounds now in 7 minutes for Polk. And he only got into the game here in the second half.
Tuasella stop and pop in the middle of the lane. Can't find it. Gilbert almost out of control there. Retains control and clear path to the basket. Why not?
On the forearm shiver there. Heisman Trophy move getting to the rim there.
He does have that look. Little scoop underneath. Whatever works, right? Tuasella.
Been really impressed with Tuasella this week. Again, crafty finishes around the rim, using his quickness and his agility, not his size, obviously.
Rolling to the basket again, and again, Scotty, we said it, and it's an overused phrase, but just coming at you in waves. You can't predict who's going to be up next attacking you, but always attacking the rim. Every time attacking the rim.
Yeah, and it was Adam Shue last night with 12 points. It's Oliver, the point guard tonight, 5 and 9 from the field, 12.6 rebounds, 5 assists, a couple steals, and he jumps from so far out there. He's a real athlete. He floated to the rim there with the left hand. And just like you said, Chuck, it's just one after another. All these guys can play, and they bought into Pavlisevic's system, and they do everything right and very disciplined. And look at O'Darian Bassett there. He hasn't even had to sweat tonight.
Right. Didn't get in the game tonight. Another buddy next to him didn't get in the game either. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, that's the national teamer, Su Chen Win. He played 5 or 6 minutes in the first half, but he hasn't taken a shot attempt and has sat the rest of the game. He wasn't needed tonight either.
Wuchek Pa we have not seen. Number 30, 29-year-old. He's also on the Hong Kong national team. He played some last night. So it's impossible to key on one player or even two players because they just have so many. Roll to the basket. Good hustle.
Yeah, Davila secures that 50-50 rebound.
Reset. Only one player back. And that leaves an opening for Polk again.
Yeah, 6 points and 6 rebounds now, limited playing time for him.
Surabaya defense was all up around where the ball was. Out of bounds, air ball. 90-40, there's your 50-point lead.
Yeah, and I thought Marcus Hammonds got fouled there as well, and I think Gilbert mentioned to him as well. There's other touch on the ball and a foul there. A little bit of contact. He was asking the official for it as well.
Leon gives it up. Downstairs again. Would have countered if it had gone. Instead, he's wrapped up, and that'll stop the clock at the 5:50 mark.
So when did we see Polk for the first time today? Was it?
In the second half,
yeah.
Third quarter, yeah. He didn't play at all in the first half.
I wonder if he missed one of those team lunches and Coach Plavecevich was had him parked on the bench.
Yeah. Blocked away. Oh, somehow.
Tuasela again with another crafty finish at the rim. Does a really good job of manipulating the basketball away from those bigs, and a real nice soft touch at the top of the backboard.
Nice turn by Polk. Hits Gilbert. Gilbert allowed to turn the corner. Back in the hands of Polk. Sue. 2 on the shot clock, and a foul bails him out.
Oh, and I think they got Oliver Shue on the wraparound there.
Offensive foul, you're right.
See, I believe he wraps his right arm around him here. You can see it. Ooh, not much, but
yeah, pushed him off a little bit too
Yeah.
on the turn. Great job by Leon to get away from the screen, and that's a moving screen there. Nope, they're gonna
it's
they're gonna
interesting.
give,
I
they're
thought
gonna give it
that
to
was
Leon.
offensive.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it's funny. So on this end, I thought it was defensive. On that, I thought it was defensive. And
Yeah, it looked to me like Guanon just stuck his back end out and bumped him as he went by. Give and go. That's what Tuasela wanted, but the finish not there. That's happened multiple times tonight. Great hustle there.
yeah, good hands by
Gilbert.
Gilbert.
He distributed the ball and then quickly went over to help with the rebound, gets the return pass, working hard. And you see a player work hard, it makes you want to pass him the ball.
Yeah, and as soon as he got that rebound, kicked it out and resurfaced outside the three-point line. And Gilbert's got 8 points now and 5 rebounds and limited playing times, less than 15 minutes for the Hong Kong Eastern.
Well, Hong Kong has not taken it easy, but the thing is, you know, when you've got when you've got 12 players just itching to get in the game, there's really nothing you can do. Polk is fouled. He's hammered as he goes up.
And I think that's why the intensity doesn't drop, is because you have guys like Davila, who's a real quality basketball player. You have Polk, you have Kahin, you have all these guys coming off the bench who want their turn.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they're hungry as when they come into the.
Absolutely.
To
They're
the
not
game.
looking. They're not looking at the scoreboard.
No,
they're not
no,
going,
no,
well,
no.
we're up by 35, better take it easy. They're not doing that at all.
This is my opportunity. That's what they're thinking.
Exactly. I want to move up in the rotation, and the only way I can do that is to impress on the court. They're doing the right thing.
Look at Kahin with 18 tonight. You have Sheck with 18 tonight on 7 and 9 from the field and 4 of 4 from 3. And Oliver Shue has 12 now. Polk has 7.
So mercifully for Surabaya, there's only 4 minutes to go. Hammonds rises and fires off the mark.
And he's just seen so many bodies once he puts the ball on the ground. He's such a quality basketball player. They're sending 1, 2, 3 guys at him anytime he touches the ball.
Reaching in as he goes around the screen.
Oliver Shue went from center today. He went from 5 feet behind the three-point line, and then he just flings it after the foul there, and it goes in. So nothing Oliver Shue can do wrong tonight.
There he is again. So with Gio, his 3rd foul. Okay, well, there's Coach off the seat right there. Milicevic.
Oh, look at that. I like it.
Yeah, I mean,
they got the
they're
block on the video camera as well. Very smart.
But they're all ears and eyes whenever he opens his mouth. What's obviously this Hong Kong Eastern, you know, like it or not, Scotty, this team was put together to win and win this year. And that's why that roster is as deep as it is from 1 through 12. And they've gone out and they've gotten the best coach that they can possibly find. I'm sure they checked his credentials out. Well, how is he with young players? How is he against veteran players? And they found the coach that would blend the best with the players that they have. And they've got a formidable group of guys that's going to, you know, barring injury or something else that happens. Of course, now other players make their switches during the season as well, so things can change in a hurry. But they are going to be the standard from here on out, unless another team can assert itself. Will that team be Saigon? Will it be Singapore? Will it be Malaysia? Right now, we don't know. But it just looks to me, even though both teams are 4-0, I just think that Hong Kong is the cream of the crop at the moment.
Yeah, and so what I see is that as well. I see kind of 5 teams that have kind of risen above here. It's the 3 established ABL franchises. You have Hong Kong Eastern, you have Saigon Heat, and you have Singapore Slingers. And then right in that mix as well is the NX Matrix Malaysia, I think, are a tremendous basketball team, as well as Zamboanga Valientes have really surprised and shown their worth this week as well. And so it's going to be very interesting. I think there's a lot of parity between those 5 teams right now. Within who has a shot to get into the semifinals as well as the finals. And I believe the other 3 teams are kind of working towards building their product up and building their team up to get there.
Yeah, Surabaya, especially in Bangkok, especially, in Surabaya and Macau have a lot of work to do, but the season's young.
Yeah, that's the brilliance of it, right?
Exactly. And these younger players who are part of the national teams, and that's to me what the league is all about. You're trying to develop players from your own country so that you can grow basketball in your country and they become part of the national scene. Fans come out and watch the local players and just as much as they do the expat players, and that's how you build a program. You seed it. It's called seeding. And you seed the ground with basketball players from your particular country and hope that they can stand up to the challenge. And that's the way I envisioned it when I saw the ABL. And Hong Kong obviously has another way that they want to do it, and that's fine. We want to win now, and they are quite impressive, that's for sure. Foul. Gio will go to the line.
Yeah, and with 2:47 left, a lot of these teams are starting to prepare to transition to Batam. I believe that's going to happen in the next couple days here. Is that correct, Chuck? They'll leave maybe Monday or Tuesday and practices Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I believe the games are Thursday starting next week or Friday next week?
Yeah, on the 12th. On the 12th. So, they'll be Thursday, and they'll probably want to get there a couple days early.
Batam's a hop, skip, and a jump over here from Singapore.
That's right.
What, that ferry is an hour long? No, 25 minutes?
45 minutes, and then you got to go through immigration and stuff. So say to get to the hotel or the resort, wherever it is, probably a 2-hour total. By the time you get your bags and all that kind of stuff and get settled in. So another bucket from the left side there.
Kaheen again, he's got 21 now.
So 101 to 44, but
played every minute of this game, Chuck. 37 minutes strong now for him. Hadn't played in the previous 3 games.
But that's good for the players, talking about that next leg, because they don't have to travel much and they don't really have to go back home and then come back here again. They can go straight after one more night here, maybe get on the ferry and go over there, or another night after that. Maybe some of the players will elect to go back home. Long 3.
Yeah, super advantageous, right? Having just a short travel day. Yeah. Across to Batam, and all of a sudden you're practicing or shooting that day. There's no jet lag. There's no travel lag. You're not stuck in an airport. A lot of the times with the flights that are going here, you're stuck in an airport for longer than you think you are. And
it's been very well constructed. And then the league after that will be in KL. That's not so far either. Of course, that last leg being in Vietnam. The finals we think is going to be in Hong Kong. Catch and shoot off the mark, out of bounds. It'll be Surabaya ball. So and this is the way to do it. I mean, I've talked to a lot of the coaches and the players, and they like this coming back from a 3-year hiatus. Maybe this is the way to do it. You have health concerns as well. You want to make sure, COVID's still lurking around out there, so you want to make absolutely sure that everybody's safe.
Yeah, I think the ABL's done a really good job. They did a 3-on-3 tournament in Bali to start, and so progressed slowly with that, with the COVID concerns and all that kind of stuff, and then to do this, an invitational tournament which consists of about 2 months and different locations, kind of a bubble locations. I think it's a really smart idea, and I think they've executed it tremendously well here in Singapore, and that speaks to the organization of the Singapore Slingers, the GM, MJ, and Coach Neo, and the franchise, the quality Outstanding franchise that they have here.
Well, Michael Johnson has been with the ABL since its inception in 2011, so he knows better than anybody else the potential of this league, and he's done a tremendous job. Can't say enough good things about him. He doesn't get enough gratitude for what he's done for the league. He does most of his work behind the scenes.
When you talk about the consistent piece that's been there since the beginning, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Michael Johnson.
And then next year when we go to the normal home and away type of schedule, you know, who knows, we may see some different franchises. Oh, nice job on the fake.
It's the second time Johnson's chased poke off a dunk. He's contested both times. You have to admire that in a 50-point game. The willingness to contest and to battle someone at the rim with poke's height.
So about a 3-second differential between game clock and shot clock. Out of bounds it goes. It'll be Hong Kong ball. It's been all one-way traffic. If you just joined us, 101-50. Don't go away. Zamboanga going against the Singapore Slingers. The next game, it will be the last game of the Singapore leg. And in fact, that will do it. So there's your final score, ladies and gentlemen. Hong Kong Eastern leading from the gate, 101-50. And they finish the tournament a perfect 4-0. They join Saigon Heat. They will be at the top of the table. No matter what happens in this next game with Zimbabwe and Singapore, a chance to go 3-1. That will put them in a strong position in second place, only a game behind the leaders. Surabaya falls to 1-3. So right at the moment, they will be one rung above the two winless teams, Macau and Bangkok. That will do it. So Hong Kong Eastern, again, showing their supremacy. There's Coach Pavlicevic. There he is off the bench. He's got to be very, very pleased with the way his team has performed here in Singapore, and the players are appreciative to the crowd as well. Very good group of guys, Scotty. None of them, you know, full of themselves at all. They, you know, they're very humble when they talk, and they believe in their team, and they believe in their coach, and they've come to win this year. So we'll see what happens. We're going to have one of the players over here for an interview with Scotty in just a moment. But meanwhile, let's check out some highlights. There's Gilbert rolling to the basket. And then we'll talk about stats in a moment. Okay, those are the highlights here, the stats, the relevant stats to go with that last game. Rebounds 57-28, huge edge. In fact, almost doubled up Eastern over Zimbabwe, or over Surabaya. Assists 30-9, again, huge edge. Field goal percentage, oh, that speaks for itself, 17-64, plays 38 of 68, well over 50% for Hong Kong Eastern. Three-point shooting, 5 of 20, that's only 25%, 11 of 17, that's well over 60% for Hong Kong Eastern. Blocks, 5 and 2, steals, 7 and 6, turnovers, 13 and 14, that's pretty level. Second chance points, 11 for Hong Kong Eastern, 4 for Surabaya. Bench points, 55. So that's what a deep team will do. They'll beat you by rolling players at you in ways. That's exactly what they did to Surabaya, 55-10. Points from turnovers, 11-5. Okay, I believe Scotty has a player from the winning Hong Kong Eastern team over to the side, so we'll turn it over to him. Scotty.
The versatile big man for the Hong Kong Eastern squad. Tony, second game in a row that you've kept a team to 50 points. Speak to your guys' defense and the success you've seen through that defense this week.
Well, first of all, thank you for having us here.
I feel like more than the offense that we have, we emphasize very much the defense. We know that we can be really dangerous in that area. We emphasize on stopping the best player from the other team, emphasizing on making the other players play and for them to create. And I feel like the player that we have put on those players from our team, they had done an amazing job. The coaches and staff, they had doing an amazing job for the scouting, and that's what keeping us alive. You know, we know that sometimes we're going to have a bad night shooting, but what's going to keep us alive is going to be the defense, so we emphasize a lot in defense.
Well, Tony, we've talked about your depth all week long. You had 7 players in double digits tonight. What is it like to play on such a deep and quality basketball team?
Well, we know with that we have some young players that are ready to play. You know, they're ready to take the opportunity and make the best of it. Just because they don't play in the previous game, that doesn't mean that they cannot apport to this team. We know what we have. We believe in them. The coach believes in them, and they show it today. They show it that they're ready to play whenever the coach tells them to play. So I'm very proud of the way they responded. I'm very proud of the team. We achieved the first goal, and now we're going to move to the next week.
Well, Tony, a 4-0 week here in Singapore. It's been a pleasure to watch your team play, and best of luck the rest of this ABL season.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Tony Tocha telling it like it is. The depth and the defense are the priorities of Hong Kong Eastern. They win 101-50 over Surabaya. And that will do it. Now, listen, don't go away because the next game, very, very important. Zamboanga of the Philippines playing the Singapore Slingers. Slingers win. They take second rung here at the start of the ABL season. So for Scotty McKinnon and all the production crew here at the OCBC Arena, we'll see you in about 15-20 minutes. So long for now.
Oh, no break.
This broadcast of the ASEAN Basketball League may not be reused in any way, shape, or form without an express written consent of the ABL.
No break before smoking break.